Flesh Force. I think Captain Marvel is a pretty average movie by Marvel standards. I think it's pretty good, and there are great elements in there, like you got the actors, you got Annette Bening as all her roles, you got Jude Law, Brie Larson, Sam Jackson, and you got the MVP, Ben Mendelsohn. And there are the special effects, like you got Captain Marvel all powered up, looks very cool, and so does the Supreme Intelligence world and the Kree world. Hala looks okay. But of course, there are a lot of downsides. I don't think the narrative had a lot of weight because we didn't get a lot of establishment, characters, or their surroundings. But before I get more into this, I'm not even trying to do a review, because it's really hard to gauge where I stand on this movie. The most massive plus of this movie to me, and its biggest accomplishment, is its blatant socio-political commentary. This has the commentary out the ass, like Black Panther. And like Black Panther, there's so many layers. Peel back the special effects and we have a story about a rogue Kree operative. Peel back that and we have a character's arc about standing up for herself and not compromising who she is for other people. Peel that back and it's like, oh wait, that's just not Carol, that's all women. Then, when you finally peel even more and get below the plot, that's when you realize Captain Marvel's entire plot is a scathing critique of America and its appetite for war. And it's about how American society and the military-industrial complex is ultimately just stomping around and hurting people. So, I can't really go into this without spoiling the plot. So here goes. The movie starts off with Carol Danvers as a member of this elite Kree Black Ops squad called Star Force. She lives as a member of their society on their capital, Hala. And whenever she uses her powers too much, she basically gets sent into counseling with the Supreme Intelligence. The Supreme Intelligence is the AI in control of the Kree civilization. And it also takes the form of whoever you feel closest to and constantly tells her to control her emotions and abilities. Her abilities also seem like they come from this power saw on the back of her neck, which the Supreme Intelligence constantly tells her can be taken away. Star Force is but a small part of this ongoing war. Another Kree military faction is called the Accusers, who fly their giant ships over places and bomb them. This war is against an enemy known as the Skrulls, terrorists who threaten the Kree Empire and their way of life. They instigated this war, and the Skrulls are encroaching on their borders and are shape-shifting scum. That's why the Kree have to wipe them out. Also, in a flashback, the only memory Carol still has, a Skrull killed her mentor person who she cares about, and also she doesn't remember who this is, but whatever. Later on, we get hit with a carpet bomb of revelations. Her mentor person is a scientist on the Pegasus project, which was trying to perfect lightspeed travel. Secretly, she was a Kree defector called Mar-Vell, who is harboring Skrulls because also secretly the Skrulls are just refugees looking for a home, and it turns out that they're vastly outgunned by the Kree, who are just trying to exterminate them for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Also, the Kree brainwashed Carol and implanted false memories because a Skrull didn't kill Mar-Vell, Jan Rog did. Yeah, I know. And after Carol decides, hey, I'm gonna help these space refugees find a home and get them away from the Kree decide, hey, let's carpet bomb Earth 2 because now it's infested with Skrulls. So the Kree go from a race of
noble warrior heroes
to the bad guys, unequivocally in the movie. To reiterate, the technologically superior jingoistic Kree civilization is bad. They are the bad guys in the movie. They misinform their people and try to rally them on their side to support an unjust war, and then they bomb places, lots of places, in the name of their civilization and keeping their world safe. Does that remind you of anyone? Anyone at all? Technologically superior? Jingoistic civilization? Misinformation leading to supporting a war? Bombing places? Lots of places? In the name of,
keep America safe.
That's why I can't review this movie properly yet. Captain Marvel's message is not just one of female empowerment, but one that directly criticizes America and its actions on foreign soil, as well as other warmongering nations. And it's done in partnership with the US Air Force. That's wild. This movie builds up to this threat as the Kree do, where we just assume that the Skrulls are bad. It's just something that we implicitly do. They're green and they're ugly looking. Big elf-like ears and lines on their chin, they don't look like us. And if the movies are telling us they're bad, we do not have a problem accepting that. We do not have a problem accepting that people who look different than us are the enemy. Especially when they dare shapeshift and assimilate into societies. That makes us hate them even more. The civilization is given the treatment of Wakanda, an advanced civilization that we should be envious of. There may be things wrong, but we can see their perspective. We latch onto Star Force because we're told these are the good guys. These are the Kree versions of SEAL Team 6, and they're going to assassinate the terrorist enemies known as the Skrulls. Then we find out that we're wrong, and Carol's wrong too. But it's not just our fault. The Kree Empire was doing things to basically brainwash and trick Carol into believing that she was doing the right things. She, and by extension us, were bamboozled into supporting and taking part in this war against people who are only defending themselves. Wars that were basically created by the Kree. Not only that, but the Skrulls are fleeing because they don't have a home. They're refugees, seeking asylum someplace. The Skrulls are basically an amalgamation of things that America has viewed as threats in the past 2 decades. But of course, it's not a one-to-one thing. It's not as if every single enemy America has had was innocent of any crime, but I don't think that's the point. Talos, Mendelssohn's character, the leader of the Skrulls in this movie, even has a line about how war has infected us all, and that none of us are free from it. No one is innocent and no one thing is to blame. But the only thing that Talos cares about, and by extension Marvel and Carol Danvers, is saving people, saving lives. I think that the idea that Captain Marvel champions in this critique is peace. The idea that the Kree don't need to spend all their waking moments trying to exterminate an enemy who didn't wish them any harm. And in doing so, the Kree created the very enemies that they were fighting against. In this movie, Yon-Rogg almost decimated a part of the Earth because the Skrulls were there, with no calculation and no consideration of life on the planet. Think about that. He just counted these people who were civilians and said that, hey, the casualties are worth it just to wipe out this enemy. Yes, America may not exactly be the Kree, but we come close. And that's not a good thing. Thanks for watching. Stay cool, and as always, stay fleshy.